Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Welcome everyone into the heart of being. Welcome into the here and now. Of course, you're always here and now. But in order for you to really know that you are here, that you are aware, you have to notice that in this nowness, in this eternal now, there is no past. From a moment ago back to the beginning of time, none of that is in now. And there is no future. From a moment from now to the end of time. When there is no past and there is no future in the mind, recalling memories, projecting fantasies about tomorrow, then you are in the now. Most of us are not really comfortable in this eternal now. Our preference is to be thinking about the past or the future. But of course, this isn't you. This is just a conditioned state of mind. In the eternal now, all that is known is I am. In this simple knowing, however, there is a feeling of comfort, happiness, joy. And this is why this state of the eternal now, this recognition of the eternal now, is really sought after in all the schools of meditation, in all the spiritual traditions. The difficulty, however, that arises with this seeking for now is that while we are seeking, we're not truly here. We're not truly now. We're projecting some imaginary future that when we get to now, there will be some big bang, and we will know we have arrived somewhere that is not here. So this is the paradox, isn't it? The deepest teachings, the deepest experience tells us the deepest knowing, is simply to recognize, I am here now. I am aware in this moment. And in knowing this, to know that in this moment, we need nothing. We lack nothing. That in this moment, all is well. In this eternal now, all is well. Not because the mind tells us so, but because if we have no past and we have no future, and we aren't concerned about the imaginary present that we have, then what we feel fully is our own presence in the eternal now. This eternal now is not empty of anything. You are there. But this is not the you of personality, is it? This is not the me of experience. This is the recognition that what is aware in life, in the world, in the body, as I, is this eternal now. Life itself. This life itself that I'm referring to will go on for you in this eternal now. Even when the moment of recognition comes that there is no you. There is just being consciousness, and you are that. Can you live your life in this way? Can you let life live you in this way? Without me, without mine, without desire, without goals? To do so is to be lived. There's no way of knowing with the mind what is the life that will live you when there is no you. This is a scary proposition for many people. There's no me, then whose life am I living? What will happen to me? The surprising thing that people find out is they end up living a life that they never could have imagined. When you stop directing, insisting, desiring, demanding, seeking, life goes on. And now you are an empty vessel for that life. You have no idea where it will take you, moment by moment, day by day. The one thing you can be sure of is it probably won't meet your expectations or your plan. But that doesn't mean it will stop. life will go on. Life goes on dancing no matter what. Life continues to dance. No matter what plans you make, you may have noticed. Sometimes your plans come to fruition. Many times they don't. But you keep right on dancing. Same is also true of life. When life is living you, you have the opportunity to live completely free of this impediment or this blockage that we call me or mine. There is a life for you. But it may not fit your plan. Someone was asking me recently, what it was like, or how was it to be a teacher? And of course, this person was thinking, oh, it's a wonderful thing. It must be a wonderful, wonderful thing. Your life is just glorious. And I thought about it for a moment and I said, no, really, it's really quite ordinary. And actually, the hardest part about being a teacher is that I have no life. And they said, well, no, how can that be? You have this life as a teacher and all these delightful beings around you all the time. And I said, yeah, that's absolutely true. That is the quality of this life, but it's not my life. I am not living a life anymore. I'm being lived. And the only option I'm offered is to serve every day. And it's a wonderful life. But I've already planned several trips over the last few months and have canceled all of them because something came up. Satsangs were going on. Someone was in crisis. Editing needed to be done. Of book or videos. And I'm not allowed to say no anymore. I don't want to say no anymore. My life is in service to the satsang. This is what it's like to be a teacher. Someone, I think it was Shanti, once said in a video I saw some time ago that the best teachers are the ones who are the most reluctant. And I didn't understand that at the time. But I think I do a little bit more now. Because once one has said yes, no is off the table. So this leads me to encourage you to ask yourself, what is there that you can't give up? What is there about the life you're currently living that you say, I will give up everything for awakening. I will give up everything for enlightenment. Oh, wait a minute, accept that. Whatever it is for you, that person, this place, my financial well-being, whatever it is for you, that desire, I will go to the ends of the earth for awakening, but I'll hold on to that. Because that's the thing that keeps you attached to this life as a separate me, a separate mind. And of course, whatever you're really attached to is going to be challenged, isn't it? You all know that in your own lives. Whenever you have a strong attachment and you're involved in spiritual progress in your life, whatever a strong attachment you have, that thing will become your challenge. That person, that situation, that desire, that will become your challenge. That will make you feel as though you are separate. You are not one with the Supreme. You are not awake. You are not realized. That one thing will prevent you from stepping off the edge of the cliff into the free fall of your own freedom. So from time to time, ask yourself, what is there about this life that you're currently living that you just cannot give up? And then enter into the conscious process of exploring what's beneath that refusal to let go and then let go. Whatever it is that you can't give up, that one thing is what is preventing you in this moment from being fully here now, in this eternal now in which you are already free. Let go. Want nothing but freedom. You already have it if you just let go. Here, now. If you are always living here, now, the life you have is perfect. Whatever is needed is what is in front of you now. If you are always here now, you are happy and content with what is here now. And if what is here now is challenging and difficult, you still know this is perfect. This is my sadhana. This is my spiritual path. This is my path to spiritual progress, whatever it is. So I will remain here now in this recognition that I am life itself, living in this way for some reason, even if I don't understand. It's an element of faith in that, isn't there? That what is here is perfect. And that your freedom lies in this here and now, beyond past, present, and future. Simply now, and now, and now. All right. You're welcome to turn on your microphone if you'd like to share or ask a question.
Hello.
Hello, Ellie.
Hi. Thank you so much for what you just shared with us, which is, of course, perfectly timed. I have no doubt. Both myself and I'm sure all of us. I've just been considering this exact topic recently. And sometimes my mind goes into the thinking of letting go of things, and I'll be specific, it's probably going to be easier. So right now I'm in a position in which I can, if I want, seek isolation and silence and stillness and presence. But I'm also in a place in which I can interact with people. So I've been observing my mind actually since I've arrived, kind of panicking and going like, oh, I need to find the right people, and kind of wanting me to create some sort of a community or interactions. And I find it interesting.
Yeah.
So I've been observing that, but at the same time, I'm wondering whether there is some value in those interactions. Sometimes I fear there can be distractions, taking me away from silence and stillness. But some other times I see the external world as a mirror of things that maybe I need to acknowledge from within. And I was just wondering whether it makes sense to engage with both, let's say.
Let me ask you a question, if I may.
Yes, please.
Are you in control of when these interactions happen and when they stop?
Yes, but I understand that I'm not really in control of anything.
Yeah, how are you in control of them?
So I have my own space, my own room. So I can just go out and interact with people, or I can engage with them, but like organize to see people. But at the same time, I can just go to places where there's no one, and switch my phone off. But I do understand that my belief is that we're not truly in control.
Yes.
Of
Yes.
anything.
Yes. So that's good, because that was what I was going to try to point out to you, because it's important for you to understand that in the circumstance you're in, you are still making a choice to either stay in your room or stay somewhere quiet or go and interact with people. But there's another way, and that is that you just live moment by moment in this eternal now that I was speaking about. And in that moment, you stay in your room as long as it feels to stay in your room. And then when you walk out, you may find that the eternal now still wants you to be silent. So you step out and there's no one there. And you walk away and you go someplace and there's no one there. So where you want to notice is that if that happens to you, and then you find yourself wandering around looking for someone, now you're playing the game of the mind. When the eternal now wants you to stay in the quiet. Likewise, you can sit in your room for the whole of a day, and you can want to sit in your room for the whole of a week, and someone will still come and knock on your door, or show up at your door. And you can then know that because you weren't desiring that, you weren't trying to control that, you weren't setting that up, that is what the eternal now or the universe wants for you at that moment, is that interaction with that person, either for yourself because of that mirroring quality that you're talking about, or because the universe wants your interaction with that person. That person needs your interaction, your influence. So all I'm really saying to you is understand you have no control, and the way to move forward in the space that you're in is to accept what's there in that moment. So if your silence lasts for 1 hour, it lasts for 1 hour. If it lasts for 3 days, it lasts for 3 days. You know, you don't need to go break that silence. Conversely, if something calls you out and you need to go do something and you need to be engaged with people for 15 minutes, an hour, a day, and there really wasn't something you chose, it just was something that happened spontaneously, then that's what is needed that day. So you can try to live in this way that's much more spontaneously, and let go of this idea that you need to somehow think it through and set it up so that you are protecting your silence or protecting your stillness, and that when you have to interact with someone, it is interfering with your stillness. No, the silence that is at the root of the eternal now is always here. And that silence isn't affected by what is coming and going on the screen of awareness. And if what's coming and going on the screen of awareness at this moment is a period of silence, a period of stillness, a period of self-reflection and solitariness, this is still not yours. Don't claim it. This is what life is giving you at this moment. And at the same time, if you have an hour, a moment, a day of interaction with people, don't claim that. And don't make it a problem in relation to your stillness. Because you're, as you said yourself, you are in an environment where both will happen. So now let them happen naturally, but see them both from the recognition of your prior stillness. Not a stillness that's supported by the physical environment, but a stillness that the physical environment is reflecting back that there's an internal stillness which is here now. And this is being reflected in the environment. Nothing is happening. So solitude and quiet is what's manifesting. This is not mine, you see? And then when something comes up, something comes up. This is also not mine. And when it comes up from where? Comes up from this stillness. Yeah. It's coming out of your silence. Of course, it's not your silence, it's the silence of being. So yeah, allow your life to be spontaneously here and now in this moment. Then you can dance with whatever is here, whether it be silence and stillness or it be some sort of interaction and activity. In either case, it's not yours. It's a real blessing in our lives when we don't have to stick to a schedule and we have this kind of an opportunity that we can just relax and let life. We can just see what is here now in this moment and interact solely with what's here in this moment without a need for a schedule or responsibilities or a job or whatever. And it's very interesting to see what happens in the mind, because many, many people say, oh, I really want this opportunity for stillness, external stillness and silence, which will support my sadhana. But you know, this monkey mind goes with us into the silence too, doesn't it? Mm. And then it doesn't allow the silence. But what it does allow is it allows us the opportunity from that space of external silence to see the silence which is behind monkey mind. This is the value of external silence, is that we eventually, mind slows down to the pace of whatever life we're living in that silent and still space. And we are able to let go of that monkey mind, see beyond it, see the nature of our own being in that way. So it's a support for that. So just let yourself live spontaneously. It's a golden opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Mm.
Thank you.
Hi, Rishiji.
Hello, Ran.
If I reflect, there's more than one thing that I need to let go of, or this is holding me up, seemingly. The how question, how to let go.
Well, how did you understand me when I said that you needed to let go? Look at what you need to let go of. I mean, when I'm saying you need to let go, I'm actually thinking, feeling, trying to express letting go of identity, not necessarily letting go of a thing or a person or an experience, but rather the identity that comes from being in that interaction So what are you thinking? Is that what you thought I meant?
Typically goes to the action or thing, supposedly not the identity, not the subject, but the object.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it seems the attachment to the surface object is what is seen on the first level, but there's clearly an attachment to the subject as well.
Yes. Yes, because it's in the subject that the desire is arising. The attachment, that's what I'm calling the attachment. The attachment is a desire of some sort to continue or to have some kind of an experience or to experience something as a result of the interaction. So you asked a moment ago how to do that, how to not form those attachments, how to not have those attachments, and so on. Normally, when we're involved in our relationships, our daily activities, our business, and so on, throughout the day, there are these, I guess we can call them feelings that come. And at one moment, we feel as though we're contracting or closing. And in another moment, we feel like we're open. And usually that feels like some sort of stress when we're closing, or some sense of happiness or freedom when we're opening, or when we are open and enjoying ourselves. There's this open and closing and open and closing and open and closing that's going on like that throughout our day. If we attune ourselves to that rhythm in it, whatever our activities are, we can know with some certainty that when we feel ourselves becoming stressed, closing, withdrawing in some way from the interactions that this is not imaginary interactions, this is actual interactions. We feel ourselves withdrawing from another person, from a situation, and so on. We feel that kind of stressful reaction. Then in that situation, we can relax, breathe, and open. When we feel ourselves in that more open phase, we just relax. And the reason I say that is because for many of us, most of us, when we feel ourselves in that open phase, in that phase where we feel our own internal happiness, it's not very long before the stress of the happiness, and it's not the stress of the happiness, it's the stress of the idea that the happiness will be lost soon. That's an unconscious thought, but it's an experience we all have where we're sort of waiting for the other shoe to fall. And so we aren't able to remain fully present in that moment of relaxation and happiness. So that's why I say in that moment, we have to relax also. So the how is really to begin to cultivate or take up this practice of being as open-hearted as possible, allowing what is coming to come, allowing what is staying for a period of time to stay, and then allowing what is going to go. The idea behind it is to stay conscious of the coming and going, or the impermanence of all the objects, and then also becoming aware of the impermanence, the coming and going of all the feelings and all of the activity that's going on in the subject, and realizing that if those things are coming and going, that's their natural tendency. And the deeper knowing that we have can allow that. It can make space for that. So that's sort of the how of it.
So becoming more aware of the patterns and relaxing in both.
Well, if you stay relaxed throughout the whole thing, you will become aware of the patterns, because part of what happens is that as you become attached to things, you actually lose sight of the patterns, right? Because you're following the attachments in the subject or the object. But if you're able to open, to remain in the space of awareness, let's say, then what actually happens is you can begin to see the patterns because you have a larger field of view, right? What attachment is a narrowing of concentration, or a narrowing of attention, and then a grabbing at that. So there's that narrowing of focus that happens. So we cultivate the opportunity, the ability to remain relaxed and open under all sorts of different circumstances, body, mind, and world, sensations, and so on. And in this larger field of view, then we're able to see the patterns, we're able to see the waves, we're able to see the coming and going. Even when circumstances are busy and challenging, we still are able to see that there is a pattern to it. Yeah.
It seems like I'm reminding myself that once I'm lost, that focusing on the feeling or the sensations is easier to sort of reclaim yourself, so to speak, than my natural tendency to go into the mind, analytical or whatever it is. Because those patterns have nothing or very little to do with that story, right?
Mm. The purpose of the inquiry, this question, who am I, or what is aware here? What am I referring to when I say I? Is really, though, to undermine this tendency through experience, body, mind, or world, to identify with the activity of body, mind, or world. So that's the purpose of saying, what is this I that is perceiving that it is lost, it's having an experience, it likes the experience, it doesn't like the experience. That's the route that we're attempting to cut by using the and eventually will cut by using any form of the inquiry. The difficulty for many people when they ask this kind of question that I asked before, which is, what is there that you can't let go of? The answer is, I can't let go of anything, or I can't let go of everything. I don't want to let go of anything. This is the really strong indicator that this identification is strong. It's not insurmountable, it's just strong. You know, I have to have ownership of every single experience, of every single object in the field of awareness in some way. I had, you know, not actual ownership, but that I, by ownership, I mean I have to somehow believe this is real. And that's what I can't let go of, is this belief that whatever I'm thinking, sensing, experiencing in the body, in the world, in the mind, is real. This is the root of identification. That I believe that everything I am experiencing is me and is in some way real. And so it has meaning and value. And that's what I can't let go of. I want my life to have meaning and value. So I won't let go of that. Rather than cultivating the attitude that it's not your life anyway, and that doesn't mean you don't get to dance. You still get to be involved. You still get to, you know, whatever is there is what is there. And but it's the recognition that it's a momentary recognition. It's a momentary awareness. It's a momentary wave. It's a momentary rising and falling. It's not who I am. This is the purpose of inquiries, is to undercut that very strong feeling that everything is real. And I have to have some sense of ownership over all of it. This is the falsity. The truth is, what is real is the recognition of I am aware. And that this awareness is the foundation for all the rest of this. It's not to say that all the rest of this isn't valuable. It just doesn't have the same power as the recognition of awareness. That I am that which is aware here now. And that in that knowledge, when it's firm, there is this ability which comes to dance with all of this without that identity, without there being the forming or reforming of attachments over and over again to people, places, and things. So this is why I keep bringing everyone back to this moment, because if you are here now, where are your concerns? And if I say to you, here now means there is no past and there is no future and there isn't even a present. Now, where are you? Tell me what your experience is now. Don't tell me about your past or what you're imagining is going to happen in the future, or about even what your present is like outside of the room you're sitting in right now. If you are here with me fully now, we are here. Now, what is your experience? You are now. Do you feel happiness, or do you just want to go to sleep?
No, wide awake.
Yeah, of course, wide awake. Yeah, but some people just go to sleep, really, literally. Can see people just say, when I say to them, please just be here with me now, they just go into a kind of a torpor and they can't even really interact very much from that space. So you're fortunate if you can remain alert. So what is here now then? Ah. Are you unhappy? No. Are you lacking something? Are you lost? Do you feel clear?
Not in a mind clear way.
Yeah, but if you feel clear and you say, but not in a mind clear way, then you can understand clearly you are not the mind, because whatever it is you are is what is observing the not in a mind clear way. You see, the mind does not need to be clear in order for there to be the direct recognition of stillness or silence or clarity. In fact, the mind for a long time will resist the direct perception or the direct experience of clarity. It will resist it. The reason is mind, which is based in the me idea or the mind idea, has been the one responsible to be in control for such a long time that it's become accustomed to that position. And so it's very difficult for that mind to let go. This is why we don't try to suppress that mind. We simply let that mind be as it is. And we realize clarity is here, but not in the mind way. And we recognize that we can see that. You see, if we can see that we are not that unclear mind, then we are free of it. That which is aware of that unclear mind is free of that unclear mind. And in fact, can even embrace it and say, okay, yeah, you just do what you're doing and I'll be over here watching. This is the way in which we undermine identification with what's going on in the mind.
The how is now. There is no how.
Just now. Very good.
Thank you, Rishi.
And I also want to remind you all that this now is something that we do as we talk about it here. It feels like, or it can seem like what we're doing is we're talking about some sort of a practice. And initially, of course, because there is a remembrance that needs to happen when we realize that we've been distracted or we've gotten lost in whatever our activity is or whatever our thoughts are, that there is a coming back, so it can have that feeling of it being like a practice, and we call it a practice. But the now, this here-ness is always here. It does not move or change. It's only mind which moves or changes in relation to this now-ness. Now is eternal, unborn, empty mind, or naked awareness. We really do not have to practice this, as in quotation marks, for a long, long period of time before it just becomes the preferred way in which in which life moves through the world as now, as this eternal now. Living moment by moment, flowing with whatever comes, allowing what is to be what is. We are that silent witness, watching, enjoying, here and now. So remain as you are, as free and open awareness, the heart of being. Be happy. Each moment is precious and clear. Hari Om Tat Sat.